Hey, Mark Rodriguez here. You're watching America's #1 cure for insomnia, the Diving Cutter Wrestling Podcast. And with me are...
William White, aka Ninja Panda, 1980.
Oh yeah, sorry, I was asleep there. This is Jupi channel, also known as Ninja Jupi or Wiki. Hey guys.
All right, now wait a minute. Where's Johnny? He's usually here for like every episode. Like, what's going on here? Where's he at?
Yeah, we always, sometimes Jack's busy and, DJ Evans is more of a cameo guest star, but Johnny's always here.
Yeah, that's true. But I know where he is. Like my ninja powers can bring him here. I know where he is. Now I want to introduce you to the one, the only, the man of the hour, the man with the power, the man who is sitting right here.
This is Johnny Rodriguez.
Yeah.
All right, so it's a very special episode of the Diamond Cutter Wrestling Podcast. We're going to go over All Out 2024, and we'll kind of go right to it here. And yeah, as usual, we'll give our thoughts on the matches. We'll compare them with the last episode. This time, Sweet Pete, actually joined in. So when you also read his results alongside DJF and everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we can kind of breeze through the what do you call it, the 0 hour matches just real quick.
All right.
At least mention who won and who fought and everything.
All right, so the first 0 hour match was the Acclaim versus the Iron Savages. The Acclaim won.
Yeah, the only thing I remember about the Iron Savages, though, I do want to point out, that big dude, he was wrecking house. He was picking people up and slamming all over the place. Like, that's I think his name was Boulder, wasn't it? And, yeah, he stood out for that match. That's the one thing I do want to say. He was throwing people around left and right, causing problems to, Matt Caster and the Funky Bunch and everything.
I got nothing.
Thoughts, William, on that one?
I don't know. I was actually quite surprised the Acclaim actually won that match, considering, the Iron Savages, they pretty much live up to their names. They're walking versions of giant tanks. So,
yeah.
I mean, they look like human versions of Decepticons. I don't know what's up with these guys, but like for them to have won that match was actually quite a surprise to me. And went fairly quickly. I couldn't remember any like solid spots straight on, but it seemed like it was a pretty fast match. I do remember that.
It was so quick, there was no wrap. They literally just went right in there to fight.
Yeah.
That was the weirdest part, that they didn't rap out something. Damn, did I miss something?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, right? All right, so for that one, everybody went for the Acclaimed except for Johnny and Panda, who went for the Iron Savages. Now, the next 0 hour match were the Premier Athletes versus Dustin's team with Sammy Guevara and Hologram.
And yeah, that one I don't remember too much. Just, Hologram's cool to look at, his moves. I always like seeing Dustin in action. And I guess Sammy Guevara with the weird little man bun thing he has, whatever.
I like him anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. Not much to say with that one.
No.
I don't really remember.
Again, it was one of those unspeakable in the win matches. Like, I know it happened. I can't tell you what happened there. Like, I mean, but it was pretty much you knew who was going to win. I mean, let's face it, you got Sammy Guevara and Dustin Rhodes on the same team. That's pretty much a gimme. But other than that, I really can't tell you what happened in that match. That's not good.
No, it wasn't. And it didn't really hold my interest enough to even really pay much attention either. I tried. It was just a match to me. And of course, as Panda pointed out, of course, Dustin's team won, so everybody got a point for that one. Now, the next match was the Bang Bang Gang versus the Dark Order. Okay.
Oh boy, that one I don't remember too much, except the Dark Order, of course, had their spots and all that, but that's the most I remember. The 0 matches are going to be a blur, because once the actual event starts, that's when shit gets crazy.
Yeah. Anyone want to add anything for that one?
Honestly, I don't really remember much about the Zero Hour match.
Don't worry. We don't either. Nobody does. So for that one, the Bang Bang Gang did win, and everybody went for the Bang Bang Gang except for Johnny.
No.
Ironically, Johnny did not go for that one. But after that match, Sky Blue came out
Oh yeah.
Oh, I
on the
remember.
crutches, yeah. And what was it? Maria May came out and Mariah May, sorry. I'm just as bad as
Gave her a beating.
yeah, she started
And her
beating
leg was
her.
already injured.
Yeah, she tripped up her crutches, making Sky Blue fall, and he started attacking her and stuff. And then
Yeah, Amidala showed up and to defend her and save her and stuff.
yeah. Now the one thing is the Sky Blue, because Paige is in Chicago, she's Chicago born, so she made a little appearance there. Unfortunately, in terms of like when she's gonna actually compete again, she was still vague on that. So, I guess it was just a reminder she still works here, clap, 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 clap. She still works here. But Mariah May had her big heel moment. Queen Aminata attacked her. And I didn't have a match either on Dynamite or Collision, one of those.
It was an actual title match. So it was like, she was going to lose anyway, but it was nice to showcase her. But I think it's like kind of messed up that it brings someone from Ring of Honor, someone that isn't as known, that's used her in that situation, for that position, but then probably later on not going to do anything with her. So as pointed out, so after that match, we have the whatever match where you had Top Flight with Action Andretti versus Lee Moriarty and Beast Mortos and Shane Taylor versus the Undisputed Kingdom.
That's crazy.
Yeah, okay, I'm just going to be straight up honest. I won't pay attention. Too much flipping stuff all over the place. I can't handle the video game wrestling when there's all these people in the ring. So I was like, whatever, who wins? That's the thing I was waiting out for.
Like, that one was actually fun because of the fact that it had a lot of flipping spots on it. But there was a bit much, and I got to give him credit where credit's due. At least the cameraman stayed on track with it this time.
That I will give you credit for. That is true. They really did. They really did.
It wasn't somebody doing like a level 3 finisher, off the top rope, and the cameraman's just sitting there going, ooh, a popcorn stand. Like, it wasn't one of those moves this time. The cameraman was actually on point with this match. But yeah, there was a lot of quote unquote flippy shit. It was a lot of fun, and I pretty much enjoyed that match. I'm glad the Undisputed Kingdom actually got this one.
Yeah. See, my problem with a match like these is really hard to keep up with them. So I can't fully enjoy them if I can't keep up with what I'm seeing. You know what I mean? So I can't be as invested in those matches.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So as mentioned, the Undisputed Kingdom did win that match. Thank you. And let's see. Everyone just was all over the place with this one. So the only ones to get a point for this was Panda, Jack, who is not here today, and our other friend, Peter.
There we go.
Now we're getting into the real pay-per-view. The We Still Work Here 0 hour is done, and we're going to all the main pay-per-view shows, starting off with MJF versus Daniel Garcia.
Yep. So we got our big thing here, Tropical Smoothies. Let's kind of celebrate real quick the event. I got the Sunrise Sunsets. And which one you got?
I got the Mango Magic.
And you got
And the Kiwi Quencher.
There we go. So so we had a recent match some time ago where Daniel Garcia went up against actually it was like Daniel Garcia was someone else with MJF kind of backing him, I guess. I forgot who the other person was. And whenever Garcia lost, MJF just attacked the hell out of him, leaving like a bloody mess and all that stuff. And at that point in time, Daniel Garcia was missing, and out of kayfabe, they were not sure if he was going to resign or not, AEW or whatever.
Yeah.
But he came back, and he started getting into MJF's face. As we know, in the last pay-per-view, Daniel Garcia cost MJF the title. So, he lost it to, was it Ospreay?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Ospreay. And they had another confrontation in one of the episodes of Dynamite where MJF just beat the living hell out of him, left him like a bloody mess, and even, kissed him while he's all bloody and knocked out and stuff. And so now it all built up to this. So it was an epic fight. It was a real, like, blood feud. And keep in mind, because I think the blood feud is going to be the theme of AEW All Out. But, yeah, they were just going at it. Like, you could tell, they kept talking about, like, the match is not going to end until we break each other's necks. And they were trying to slam each other on each other's necks and doing other, risky type moves and stuff like that. And I forgot someone got busted open or not. Did MJF get busted open? Someone got busted open.
I think Garcia did.
Maybe one of them. But the thing is, in the end, with the referee being distracted or whatever, MJF went for the low blow and he got the pin and he won. But things weren't over yet, because even though he, missed the match or whatever, he lost the match or whatever, Garcia still got him. He still attacked him afterwards and started beating on him. And there was a thing during the actual match that he kept trying to grab him and do like a pile driver off the ropes, but MJF kept avoiding it or getting out of it. Now that MJF was a bit more, shaken up, he was able to go up and do the pile driver off the rope and attack him. And then to add insult to injury, in a similar way, Garcia picked up, MJF all unconscious and kissed him the same way and then left. And that was kind of interesting. That was a way to have MJF still win the match. I guess you want to keep the streak going, whatever, but giving Daniel Garcia a chance to get his fucking payback regardless. So that was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. And outside of the kayfabe thing, because MJF, he's injured, the neck thing. At kayfabe, he's actually leaving again for a bit.
Yeah, take another break.
Yeah, he's taking another break. So they had to get him out somehow. So he just did it through Garcia. Now, my opinion, okay, some things about this match. Something I noticed with the AEW matches, it happens way too often. I hate the fake outs. I really do. I mean, it just gets to the point where it's like too much at a time, and it makes the matches go on longer than they should.
You mean the kick out of the finishers over and over and over?
Yeah, over and over and over. It just gets so tiresome after a while. But there was one spot, I can't remember exactly, but I did make a quick note of it, how Garcia got MJF in a kind of like faked him out and got him in an interesting move, and that would have been a good spot to end the match. But Garcia would have won it. But yeah, I thought that would have been a perfect ending right there. But unfortunately, MJF kicks out. We gotta have like 500 more finishers when the match is over. And it's just a theme, just in general, that just keeps going and going. But the match itself, I thought it was kind of okay for what it was. But there were some situations where it's like, wait a minute, shouldn't he not be able to do this because he got hurt doing this? Like the fake thing, of course.
Yeah.
But it was okay for what it was. And despite what a certain someone says, I actually like this Garcia setup because it's like he's trying to separate himself from the Jericho vortex. And I kind of like that. Okay?
I really enjoyed this match. It sucked that Daniel Garcia lost the match. I would have preferred a million times if he won this one instead of freaking MJF somehow, some way, shape, or form, Chain, of course, win this match. It would have been way better if Daniel Garcia won. But I still like the fact that even though technically he lost the match, he was like, I'm revengeful. He's like, I don't give a fuck about this match. And I was like, it's super personal. I'm going to still beat the living shit out of you. And that's what he did.
That's the part I did like.
And I did like the match was very violent because, you see Daniel Garcia very injured and very bloodied up. But I did like seeing that in a certain way because it just shows, like, how serious this feud is. Like, this is a big deal, So I like that. And it causes a lot of... it made the match a little bit better than the typical MJF match. It added a little bit more suspense to it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. Despite MJF winning, which, that was for plot-wise, honestly, MJF did it again. He looks good because of his opponents. His opponents are who carry him. And Daniel Garcia carried the bulk of that match. Whether he was making the moves or he was taking the bumps, the majority of that match was carried by Danny Garcia, and he did a damn good job of it. It did make it for a fairly good match, even with MJF being his opponent. But hey, if Kenny Omega could can get beat up by a blow-up doll, Danny Garcia can get beat up by MJF. So we'll just have to go with that. But overall, it was a good match. It got bloody, which is highly unusual for both of those guys. Like, they might catch a cut or two, but this one actually got bloody, which, was kind of oddball for out of character for each of them. And then for him to actually do a after-match assault on MJF, bravo. That's actually good storytelling. That's going to lead up to something else.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, it was an okay match. I have to give him credit. It was a good match.
Hey everyone, it's me, Jack. Unfortunately, I was unable to attend the most recent podcast, so I'm just going to give my quick overall thoughts of All Out 2024. Starting off, we have Daniel Garcia versus MJF. Pretty standard match, not really much to write home about. Only thing that just really kind of irritated me was, well, besides the fact that it was a pretty generic opener, it felt unnecessary to have him bleeding at the first match of the card. It just seems like you're kind of doing overkill at that point because you just started the main show. So it's like, okay, it's kind of weird.
Now for this one, everybody went for MJF who didn't win except for me and Johnny. So everyone gets a point except for us for this particular match. And also something that Mark here noted about the commentary here. Daddy Magic got into Tony's stash. That's what he actually said.
Oh yeah, because he was more animated than usual. And another note, this time MJF found trunks that did fit.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yep.
Okay, so the next match that came up on the list was the Blackpool Combat Club versus the Young Bucks for their tag team championships. Yeah, for this match, it's a match. I don't know. I was annoyed at some points.
Yeah, I mean, it was a decent match, but it's just like, the Young Bucks are going to win. They're not going to drop them to the BCC and all that stuff. So
yeah,
that kind of took the sales out of it,
But there is one thing that you said during this match. You threw one mother choke into another mother choke.
Mm-hmm.
He threw one buck into another buck.
Oh yeah, they did a lot of those where the Buck had the leg out and they just swing him so he kicks his brother and all that stuff, or pick up one and throw to the other and that kind of stuff. So that was kind of fun.
Now there was one part of that match that I did find a little weird.
Uh-huh.
It was with Claudio when he was in the on his side of the ring, but he was like, look like he was trying to distract the ref, or he was talking to the ref while Yuta was still in the ring getting beat by the Bucks and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And I just thought it was kind of weird, but I didn't think anything more out of it because, it's the Bucks and it's them. So I just don't fully care.
But of course, that plays into later. Right now, it's kind of like, what's going on? It's almost as if Claudio wants to lose, But
that's how I was feeling with that one. I was like, okay.
But that comes into play later. Your thoughts, Johnny?
I hated the match.
Oh,
Look, I hated it for the fact because Claudio Castagnoli is a powerful wrestler. And for him to get beat up the way he got beat up by the Young Bucks, I'm thinking, damn, did he lost his skills all of a sudden? Like, what's going on here?
I love that. Oh my God.
The whole time I was thinking, how the hell did Claudio lost it to the Young Bucks?
Oh my God.
That shit makes no sense.
Oh my God. I love hearing this in person. This is great.
That's what I was thinking the whole time. I was like, damn, what happened here? Like, what?
Okay, so I'm going to tell the lie first, and I'm going to use my lying voice. This match was huge. It was the biggest match ever. It's the biggest match I've ever seen. People were going crazy. They were eating cats and dogs. It was going nuts. It was the most phenomenal match I had ever seen in my whole life. I couldn't even turn the volume down with my tiny hands. I couldn't do it. It was amazing. Okay, now for the truth. That match sucked so bad because how do you get Cog, who's supposed to be like the strongest wrestler in AEW, and turn him into just a complete chump by these two idiots who have so much plot armor that anytime they're on my screen, I could shoot my screen and the bullet will bounce off. It was insane. Like, to be brutally honest with you, as soon as their names got announced, I didn't even watch the match. I left and I made dinner. I didn't even watch the match. I left and I made dinner and I came back when it was over.
Next, we go on to the Bucks versus the BCC. Honestly, couldn't even pretend to give a shit about this match. Anytime I even hear Nick and Matt Jackson's names, my brain refuses to even pay attention to it, so my brain pretty much just shut off and went, nope. So nothing to really say about that match.
Well, anyway, for this match, since we all agree it sucked and nobody really liked it, it was the Bucks anyway, whatever. Anyway,
there was a lot of boos in the audience too.
Well, maybe that's why they liked it.
No, the boo, boo, boo.
Although you being booze that they had to be drinking to enjoy this match. But yeah, you're right. But anyway, the Bucks did win this match. It was kind of split with this one. So the only ones who got a point for this one were Mark, let me see, Mark, myself, and DJF. Everyone else went for the Blackpool Combat Club.
Yeah, and it was more of not that we want them to win, but we were kind of expecting they were going to win. You know?
Yeah, it's one of those situations. I said, you know what? I'm going to do at least one match where I'm going to go for who I think should win, and then a match where I'm going for who I want to win, even though...
Yeah, I shot myself in the foot winning against my better judgment on that one.
Now, the next match was Pac versus Will Ospreay for the International Championship. Everyone gets a point. Everyone went for Ospreay because everybody knew Pac wasn't going to get this.
But it was so epic, though. It was a fast-paced match. You know, you had the mixture of Pac with his deadly kicks and all the aerial stuff, and then Ospreay, of course, you know, going at full speed all over the place. It was an intense match. I really liked it. I didn't expect Pac to actually win it because Ospreay, you know, he's Ospreay, but also he just won the title. But I'm glad that they gave Pac a lot of these, you know, close calls where he could have won it to make it more epic, you know.
Okay, yeah, I can go with that. But there were some moves where I'm thinking you're thinking okay, they did that move. Why are they still getting up? You should be doing that towards the end of the match, not towards the earlier parts of it. I mean, were you breaking someone's neck on the on the apron?
Ring apron, yeah.
Yeah, on the ring apron, you should not be continuing that match. The ref should be like, okay, cut the match. Okay, yep, they're on. You know. You know, it should be like that. I'm sorry, but the fact that they can keep going. Good God, this is video game wrestling.
Yeah, I was gonna say someone said video game wrestling.
Yeah, but I hate the fact that I have to agree with it, especially with that. I was like, oh my! I was groaning when I saw it. Ouch.
They do it so often. I was looking to see if Pac had the 1P thing over his head, and Ospreay had the 2P over his head with the little circles. You could tell which player's which.
But you know, honestly, Will Ospreay does play like he's a character from Tekken, like any character from Tekken, just the way he fights and the way he moves.
Pac takes so long to prepare the Black Arrow that it should have a little thing where it's like press X, press X, press X, press X to fill the bar before he actually executes it. You know.
I like the match. I don't have an exact memory, but you know, it's Will Ospreay, and he does a lot of good flippy shit here and there, and very technical. And Pac was so good to it. You know, he's still
the bastard.
Yeah, and then either way, so Will Ospreay still made Pac look good as an opponent, so I'll give you that. And yeah, I liked it. It was a very good, intense match after the last crappy match. I honestly did not care about the fucking Young Bucks match at all. I was like, where the fuck is this?
Don't worry, nobody cares about the Young Bucks.
Now, that match I was actually excited for, and I was pretty much satiated in my expectations. It was a very good match, tons of spots. I really wish I could have seen more variety from Pac. Specifically, I would have loved for him to use his high-flying spots mixed with his submission groundwork, because he has more groundwork than people give him credit for, and I think that could have really worked at an edge against Ospreay.
As I was about to sit down and eat my dinner while I watched this match, I couldn't even eat because, like, it seemed like, yeah, you guys are right. It was like watching a video game, but after every move they did, their super meter just kept filling back up because they kept doing moves it was just like finisher after finisher after finisher after finisher after, oh my God, where did he come? Oh, finisher. But it seems like they weren't no-selling it, but they were getting up like, it was just a kick to the shin. No big deal. But in the same aspect, as big as those moves were, that was still a really incredible ass match. Like, it was a lot of fun, really fast-paced. I'd like to see a triple threat now, and now that he's here, they can finally do it. So if they could do a triple threat between Pac, Ospreay, and Ricochet, oh, that would be chaos. That's every minute.
Yeah.
They'd be flipping all over the place.
Yeah, but the thing is, number one, no title, because that was just not like obvious that Ospreay wins. It makes it more open that any one of the three could win. And number two, I guess have your eyes ready, man. Because it's gonna be like Dragon Ball Z. You're just gonna hear the because it's just so fast, all that flipping around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, instead of just using regular cameramen, they just need to get like drones and just do a drone camera. That way nobody screws up an angle, everybody gets the proper camera angle, because that's gonna be a lot of craziness.
Yeah.
I can only imagine what would happen if Vikingo was still in the AEW roster.
What did happen to him? Did he go back?
Oh, he's gone?
He's been back at AAA for a while now. I haven't seen him back in AEW for a minute.
Now, AAA is the company. They have the bad relationship with AAA, right? Right.
I know they had a little bit of a falling out, but I'm not fully confirmed on what went down with that.
All right. So as pointed out, Ospreay won the match because it was a title match, and anyone with half a brain would know that Park was going to lose. But, it's just more about the performance there, and that kind of builds up to some stuff later. So the next match was our Chicago Street Fight match of Chris Statlander versus Willow Nightingale.
Yep, they continued in the last one and All In. They had their big match. Well, they had lots of fighting recently because Chris Statlander turned on Willow. They had their matches here and there. The match in All In was going to be like whoever wins that match decides stipulation. So of course now Willow decided that Chicago Street Fight, and yeah, they went in there. They got like chairs. They had like broken glass and things, but it that really got me is out of all the I guess you could say the indie macho bullshit stuff that AEW's done that we've seen in other hardcore matches in the indies, the only thing they haven't brought in yet have been strobe lights. They've had broken glass, they had thumbnails, thumbtacks, they've had the barbed wire and stuff like that, but we have never seen strobe lights, and I'm surprised there was like a women's match where you finally get to see strobe lights. And yeah, wasn't it Chris and Willow? Or Willow and Chris?
What do you mean?
The strobe lights. Because they just smashed
Willow.
Yeah, Willow just smashed them shits over Chris's face. And
Stokely,
broken glass, so you get dragged.
And after she did that, Stokely just took off.
Oh, God.
After that. And I was thinking that maybe that would play into something, but I don't think it has or will.
Yeah. And then there was another spot where Statlander had the thumbtacks and stuff, and they were trying to, throw each other or push each other in them and stuff. Chris, landed a split on the thumbtacks. Just watching that, I felt the pain for her. You know what I mean? That was like
yeah, but luckily for her, the way she did the split, it wouldn't be It wasn't a full split.
Yeah. And then, like, I think she got slammed on him, and the thing that got me is that since the match kept going, Willow kept, like, slamming her, doing all this stuff, and you still see that the thumbtacks are still stuck on like, Chris's back and on her butt and whatever. It's like, I don't know how that, I'm assuming that hurts even more because the thumbtacks are still in there, and you're still getting slammed into them, and it just drives them deeper or whatever, right?
How does it feel like a pinch?
Mm.
See, women have a higher threshold for pain.
Uh-huh. The other thing too is that this was basically the Chris Statlander ass match because like the cameraman was really focused on there, and there are a lot of scenes when she's either on the floor or you know setting up the table or whatever, and she's like bent over, and I mean it's there, and the whole screen is just Chris Statlander's butt. You know what I mean? So the cameraman was having way too much fun, and I think that. Actually, it surpassed any Sky Blue match or Tony Storm match. Like that cameraman was really up in there.
Got get the perfect shot. The action's over there.
Yeah, but she bent over this way.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I gotta admit, it did turn from a Chicago street fight to an episode of Benny Hill real quick. Like every time she bent over to get something. But yeah, these two ladies beat the hell out of each other. And you're right. I haven't seen like the tube lights in any AEW match. I was trying to even think as far back as the whole John Moxley Kenny Omega Blackout match. No, they didn't even use
lights. No.
So they went straight hardcore indie in this whole thing. And yeah, the part where Statlander did the split in the tax, even I was kind of looking at that like, no, that hurt. But,
yeah, all your thumbnails on those thighs, though.
But bottom line, Chris Statlander won. She hurt my baby, but still she won. So, but overall, was a good match. Nice, plenty of violence. It was pretty much a really good hardcore indie style match, which you don't get to see those often, but when you do. There's something to be remembered, and I'm definitely going to remember that match.
Yeah.
The main thing I didn't like was the finish. I didn't like the finish too much. I like the fact that Willow had to tap out. Which could have been done differently. I don't know how, but that's just something that just went
or at least do the thing where Willow didn't tap out, but she passed out. But at least it looks like, but she didn't tap out though. You know that kind of thing. But yeah. One thing I do want to say real quick before Johnny throws his thoughts in. The first time I ever saw strobe, I mean, I've heard of them, but the only time I've seen the strobe lights in the match was when the pandemic was kind of calming down and they were slowly, starting to start up some matches. Johnny and I caught like this indie show, and it was a lot of, matches here and there. I remember Lady Frost was in a match, Elena Black was in a match, but one of the matches had some dudes going hardcore, and one of the things was that they were busting strobe lights on each other and then dragging each other over the broken, glasses and all that stuff. And with all these matches we've had here with the exploding barbed wire and all that junk, that was like the last thing that AEW has never shown until now. And again, I never would have thought it would have been in a women's match.
Explosive shoe. We have exploded shoes, no strobe lights. Darn.
Done.
All right, so unfortunately, my end, the freaking Bleacher Reports wasn't working that well, so it's kind of hard to kind of try to watch the match over and over again because it keeps shutting down here and there. I think the Wi-Fi signal is pretty bad that day, honestly, so it was a little hard to watch that match, but I did remember being a very long match, or at least the way I see it, because I had to keep trying to watch it over again and try to watch it from the piece that I, left off and then get that stuff. But it was brutal. I just remember that they're throwing themselves on the table and picking up all kinds of weapons. And then they even picked up the trash can, and it was, right?
I think so.
They were doing all kinds of things in that match, and it was just like awesome. And yeah, it kind of sucks that Willow lost the match though, because I really wanted her to win this one.
I like the match for what it was, honestly. Like I said, as much, I just didn't like that finish, and I would have rather her, like you said, passed out as opposed to maybe tapped out or
But with that finisher though, it does look like I don't know, there might be a rematch because you could see the devastation in Widow's like I don't know, she was knocked out or whatever, but you could tell that she was devastated she lost that match the way she did.
Mm-hmm.
So she's probably gonna wanna, do another rematch.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and there is one thing I did notice though, and I just did this for my memory, and I'm pretty sure if Jack was here, he'll probably point it out too if he saw it. I don't know, William may have as well. It did bother me that even someone that's very casual like me noticed the communication between Willow and Chris, right? Before like a couple of spots, especially when Chris did the pile driver on Willow. I noticed that.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. Like right before the pile driver, when they're grabbing each other, like I don't know the exact words, but you kind of sort of see like okay, you ready for this? Okay, and they do it, and I was kind of like
Yeah.
oh, that's what they call like a hot mic. When a mic actually picks that up, because we're not supposed to.
But even if we hear it say, you could just tell that's what was going on for that before they executed the move, and try to make it look more smooth or whatever, and it didn't work out. But Willow is still, I guess you say, a little wet behind the ears, or how the saying goes.
Next, we go into Chris Statlander versus Willow Nightingale in a street fight. Pretty standard, just street fight. Okay, like it felt like it could have been on TV. Like it didn't need a pay-per-view spot.
Now for that match, Chris did win, and everybody went for Willow except for Mark and Jack. Now the next match was another I don't give a crap match for the Continental Championship. Orange Cassidy versus Takeshita versus Marbrisco versus Okada for the title. Beach. Oh my gosh. I'm just gonna say this. We called it the suplex party. Everybody was like suplex, and everybody else, you get a suplex, you get a suplex.
Oh yeah, they kept doing that over and over and over. It went on for a good maybe 5 minutes worth.
It felt like
of everyone just suplexing each other, and they literally did it until you got every possible combination of those 4 people of everyone suplexing everyone.
Yeah, and also too with that match, this is a match where I didn't go for who I think was going to win. I went for who I wanted to win. I went with Takeshita. I knew I was going to lose my bet, but lose. So whatever. The match itself, I can't think of much out of it except for all that suplexing nonsense. Oh, but there were some good, nice, interesting moves. We kept seeing Takeshita paired up against Okada, though.
Yeah,
that was interesting.
Yeah, the biggest thing they did there is that they did kind of set up lots of like in your face between Okada and Takeshita. And I think they're building it up, so we might eventually end up with that as a match coming soon. Because I think there was an interview or something on Dynamite, and they also kind of got each other's faces again. And it was funny because Okada like left without saying nothing. We were like expecting him to say beach. Then he comes back beach and leaves to get.
Oh yeah, it was like you would never get my title. Then he walked away. I was like, and that Joker said that, and then he came back and said, beach. I was like, no, you don't write the jokes for me. Ceiling, but whatever. Takeshi's being so wasted.
Your thoughts, William?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. Like, Takeshi's got so much talent. So much damn talent. But yet, he's stuck on this constant losing streak. Like, they just need to get him out of the Callis camp, for one. Number 2, as far as the actual match went, Briscoe and Okada shouldn't even have been there. Like, it should have just been Takeshita and Okada just having this match out. Because you know that's what it was going to lead to. You know those are, like, the 2 best guys that are in the field. And they're actually in AEW right now. Briscoe and Orange Cassidy really didn't matter in the match. Like,
oh, wait, he was there?
Like, the bell could have rang. Those 2 could have just rolled out of the ring and let Okada and Takeshita have it. And I think everybody would have been fine with it. Because that's what it's really leading up to. But overall, it was an okay match, despite those 2 being in the ring. But they need to push Takeshita more and just quit having him be Don Callis's, well, for a better word, excluding Okada's little pun, bitch. And, just let him be his own man and let him actually wrestle. Get him some title shots. Get
Earn
him some
that paycheck. Let him earn that paycheck.
Yeah, let him earn that paycheck. Exactly. But otherwise, it was a pretty good match. I can't really complain about it too much. It's just they need to push him a bit more. That's all overall.
Yeah, honestly, this match again, like the streaming service, the Bleacher Report was not working well. The Wi-Fi was crap that day. The wire was kind of crappy, so that probably has something to do with it. But of course, I didn't really care about the match. Like many people's opinion, I felt like Orange Cassidy was just there. Like I don't even know why he's in the match. Like I felt like he's like very out of place for that match. And the way Orange Cassidy, all I remember is that Orange Cassidy got beat up in a way that it's like, yeah, of course, because it's like he has no way to win against Okada and yeah, like I don't know, like Orange Cassidy.
I mean, in my opinion, Cassidy still had his, pocket moments and stuff like that, but Briscoe was one of the least to do in that match. He didn't have any like memorable moments or spots or anything, to be honest.
I don't even remember any chair for him to jump off of. He had to have done a chair spot, done one chair spot. I mean, it wouldn't be him if he didn't. Right, like I said, for this match, it was like, whatever. I just wanted Takeshita to win. I knew he was going to lose, but I'm behind Takeshita, But anyway.
Next, we have the four-way between Okada, Orange Cassidy, Takeshita, and Mark Briscoe. This one, for me, was probably match of the night. Mostly because of the amount of variety and styles. You have Takeshita and Okada, who are both strong-style wrestlers, but they're very different strong-style wrestlers. Okada is more straightforward, hard-hitting, continuous, like just chopping wood the way he wrestles. And Takeshita is a little more on the spot, hard-hitting style, kind of similar, closer in the vein of Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi. Then you have Orange Cassidy, who, of course, he had to be in it for some weird-ass reason. He did add a little bit of variety to it, but Mark Briscoe, specifically, was the wild card. I mean, he put the wild in wild card, and he added a lot of variety to the match to kind of pepper the style. And just seeing the different clashes going against each other was pretty entertaining, and overall, just had a good viewing experience.
For this match, as mentioned, Okada won. Everybody went for Okada except for me, who went for Takeshita, and Mark, who went for Mark, because he's a Mark for Mark.
Mm-hmm.
Now, our next match after the suplex party is Hikaru Shida versus Mercedes Moné for TBS Championship that nobody cares.
But what can I say? It was an okay match. Between the two, because you gotta love Hikaru Shida, and I still want to see the day that she comes down with the big baggy pants and the Geese Howard team. Like, just make it happen. You guys can like if you could throw who knows how much money on the final countdown, you can pay SNK like $100 or something and have them get the Geese Howard theme or something. Oh, you know what? Maybe when City of Wolves comes out. Like the month that City of Wolves comes out, have Hikaru Shida up here with the big baggy pants with the Geese Howard thing, But anyway, the menu I remember the most.
See, I'm just picturing it with the whole little outfit, and maybe have the some petals blowing on her while she's holding her shinai or something.
Yeah. So the match had a decent back and forth. It's kind of a blur by now, but the part that I did remember that was kind of like oh come on. Was that Hikaru Shida actually nailed Mercedes with 2 or 3 of the katanas, and yet she somehow kept getting back up. And then Mercedes did her crappy ass finisher, and that was it. And Hikaru was out, and Sasha retained. And I don't know, like I guess I was expecting Sasha to win anyway, and I was expecting maybe Hikaru Shida to come real close to winning, but then Camille does something in the background or whatever. But But yeah, that was nonsense, man. Like Mercedes was eating them finishers. You know, what I mean? She was like you say in the fighting game, she was tanking those finishers. Like come on.
See, and that goes to what I was saying earlier. I hate all the, the false finishes and stuff like that. And that is a very good example of someone keep getting a bunch of finishers and kicking out of them, and then you give one finisher to the other person or something, all of a sudden they're out. That type of thing. It's just...
Yeah, it's like William, you remember I think it was Marvel vs. Capcom 2 where you could turn Zangief into like the metallic mecha Zangief or something?
Yeah.
Like like once he walks forward, nothing stops him. Like he'll still take chip damage, I guess, but he just keeps walking forward, tanking everything until he grabs you. And that was Mercedes, just tanking those katanas to the face multiple times until she was able to grab Hikaru and finish her.
Yeah, like the whole... Yeah, there's a difference between that match and the Will Ospreay and Pac match. Ospreay and Pac, they kept doing the finishers to each other, and they kept, selling it like it hurt. But it was pretty much like an all-finisher match. Whereas Hikaru Shida and Monet, it was just Shida was hitting her with everything except for the kitchen sink, which if it was a street fight, she probably would have. But through the power of plot armor and no selling, Mercedes looked like the stronger person, which I think was just a hunk of flying bullcrap, to be brutally honest with you, because, I mean, I get it. Mercedes supposed to be like the new, hot blue chip prospect for AEW, but come on, you can't make her look invincible. She's no Jade freaking Cargill. Like, you can't make her look like this big invincible character against,
The final boss,
kicks, stuff like that. No, make it a close match. I mean, Sheeta's been one of your top characters since AEW first opened its doors, and literally, whoever wrote this match, it just looks like they're just shitting on her. Like it was ridiculous. That was a terrible match. Like, I'm sorry, I call for a do-over. I call a mulligan.
Oh gosh. And also,
katana to the face doesn't work for me, brother.
And also there's the part of the match where what's they trying to decide on, should she disqualify herself by hitting her with the Shinai?
Oh, that was kind of dumb.
Yeah, because that was because it's not like Camille was there, or even, to be fair, Mercedes didn't do anything heelish, so why would she feel the need to, I gotta disqualify myself? Or it's not like Tony with Mariah. I mean, that made sense, with her trying to decide not to, because, Mariah, did what she did to her. But in this situation, it really wouldn't make sense for Hikaru to, even have that, consideration.
Yeah, Hikaru to do like a heel thing against the heel that at that point, hasn't
never
done anything heelish during that match.
So it's kind of silly. I mean, the match was just...
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of looked back and just like, she needs a weapon to win. Like, it should have shown more that she had the capacity to beat her without having to cheat.
Should have been Geese Howard.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like this match, to be honest. It was good to see Hikaru Shida fight, again at this pay-per-view, but other than that, I didn't like the fact that she lost the match, and she lost by frickin' Monet.
Of course.
Next, we have Mercedes versus Shida for the TBS title. This match had a potential for match of the night, but it had too many crap bits. Like, way too many. Confusion between the two, and it seems to be a reoccurring pattern with Mercedes. Every person she wrestles now has been either unable to communicate with her, or she's been unable to communicate with them. The thing that just really irritated the living shit out of me was that Shida did a triple Falcon Arrow. 3 Falcon Arrows in a row, and Mercedes kicks out. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? But then Mercedes does her one finisher, and that's it. I'm like, it was a crap finisher. And it was like, it just irritated me to no end. I think it should have just been Hikaru doing the 3 spots and then, like, I don't know, foot on the rope or something, something. There's a way to do it that doesn't make it look like your offense has no offense, and they didn't do it right. It just really pissed me off to no end.
Anyway, well, as mentioned, Mercedes did win this match, and everybody went for Mercedes except for Johnny and Panda. But they just, like I said, I only did a couple of matches where I went with who I thought was going to win as opposed to who I wanted to win.
Yeah.
And the next match was Jungle Jack Off, Perry, whatever his name is. Yeah, Perry, whatever. Jungle douchebag, anyway. Versus Bryan Danielson, and anybody, once again, with half a brain knew that Bryan Danielson was not going to lose this match.
Okay, so anyway, it was for the AEW World Championship title.
Oh, I forgot that one.
And Bryan said, many people thought that All In, he won the title, and he was going to drop it, and we're going to have another one of Tony Khan's 10,000 tournaments. And Bryan came out on TV and had what we would think was going to be his farewell retirement speech. Here he goes, going to drop the title. But he's all like, I'm going to retire, but it won't be today. He's going to keep on fighting. He's going to be a fighting champ and all that stuff. And apparently whenever he finally drops the title, then he'll retire. So we don't know. And then Jack Perry was the first one to appear on TV to challenge him. He's going to end the future. He's going to end Daniel Bryan and all that crap. So this is how we got to today's match. And yeah, it was a pretty decent match. Not much I can remember. I mean, they went at it, and Perry gave Danielson a challenge. And it's kind of like what Cornette says. They're both like around the same similar size, so it kind of makes a bit more sense there and stuff like that. And yeah, in the end, Bryan retained. I remember more the build up in the story, but I don't remember too much of the actual match though.
I don't recall the match being particularly bad. It was okay for what it was. But it's just, I just can't take Jack Perry seriously in any way or form. That's about it. I thought the match was all right. And, Danielson is a good technical wrestler. So,
Yeah.
and
Oh, you know what happened? We zoned out during the match too.
oh, that too.
Yeah. But we woke up just in time though for the big thing, because I guess that's another thing. The bigger thing was what happened after the match, because after Danielson retained, what do you call it? I think it was the Undisputed Era and them showed up, but then like the rest of the what do you call it? The combat clubs showed up to help chase them away. So you think they're all buddies and stuff. And then all of a
the
sudden,
patriarchy showed up too.
oh, the patriarchy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the patriarchy showed up, and Claudio and Yuta and all them showed up to chase him away.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the big betrayal, because Claudio, I guess was Claudio started attacking Bryanson, or was it
No, Moxley.
Moxley attacked Bryanson, whatever, American Dragon, while Claudio was holding Yuta back, so Yuta couldn't do anything.
Pac. And Pac was there.
Oh,
Yeah,
Pac was
Pac was
holding. Oh God.
Yeah, they were keeping Yuta away, and then Pac, and now they have their own little thing. So it's Pac, Shafir, Moxley, Claudio, and that might explain why why what's his name acted the way he did much earlier.
I think when you saw that whole thing, you described that whole thing, because the thing is, we dozed off. And we woke up just as we saw like Pac choking like Yuta, and he was crying, and they had a plastic bag. Can you describe that whole
trying to suffocate?
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, from what I remember, it was like they went in and ran everybody else out, and it looked like they were about to congratulate him. But then I want to say it was Moxley that like kicked Daniel Bryan in the gut, and then like I remember Pac holding back Yuta. But I think it was Moxley that put the bag around
it was Moxley.
I remember how graphic that looked. Holy shit.
I was like, what the fuck? You don't play with that shit, But
I was like, I thought AEW stood for all elite, not all eliminated. Like, good Lord.
the crowd was chanting, "This is murder! This is murder!"
Yeah, I was like, wait, what? It's like it was. That really
Yeah.
got my tail like, what in the world?
And the funny part about it is that was the one thing that got everybody talking about this match. Because had it just been Brian versus Perry, nobody would have cared. Because honestly, nobody can take Jungle Jerk seriously. Nobody can. I mean, he'll come back with the whole glass thing and hit somebody over the head with a bottle of glass, and they're like, "Oh, look at you, little Jack Perry throwing the glass bottle. He's so cute." I mean, nobody really takes him seriously, so they had to do something to get that crowd cheering, even if it was on the behalf of almost taking Bryan Danielson's life. Which I think that I've seen a lot of stuff in my time. That's overboard. That is just way overboard. Like, that goes all the way up there with back in the day when they tried to hang Gangrel over the top rope with a belt. That's just going way too far.
Has wrestling ever used a plastic bag like that before? I don't remember ever seeing that ever.
Yeah, it was on an episode of Raw, but somebody had taken their belt off and like wrapped it around Gangrel's neck and then kicked him over the top rope and had him hanging there. But the fact of the matter is, he wasn't able to loosen that part of the belt, so he was actually legitly hanging there for a while.
Well, I mean, the plastic bag, has that been seen before in other wrestling things or the hardcore era?
I've never seen anybody do that before in wrestling, like, ever. That's just taking it way too far. And oddly enough, again, another pay-per-view where Moxley was in it, didn't bleed. I guess he really has changed his character.
Well, he's just a little nutty now, so...
Yeah, he has a new gimmick now. He's walking around with Rita Shafir, but I guess now we're going to have Claudio there too, and Pac also, so that's odd thing there.
Yeah, Pac, I'm the bastard. You're ignoring me for the last time. I'm part of the good group now. This bastard has a voice. Okay.
Yeah, personally, this match, I really didn't care about the match because Jungle Perry's in it. Like, who cares? And also because it's kind of weird because Bryan Danielson always likes to challenge himself with, I guess, wrestlers he wants to fight with it. I don't see Jack Perry as a wrestler I must challenge to have this match with. Like, it's just like, yeah, that's Tony Khan's booking right there. Pretty much.
And I think the reason was because they gotta keep the title on
Jungle Jack.
Yeah, whatever. Whatever. I don't even care.
But the ending, I mean, the fact that Bryan Danielson, like he's pretty much like they have to. It's basically like they have to take him to the hospital at that point. Like, how bad it's like. Damn.
Now here's my question because he's not back. We'll the announcer Excalibur and all that. We'll let you know what happened with Bryan Danielson. You saw what happened at All Out. We will know about his condition later and all this other stuff. Yeah, you put a title on a guy who can't defend it, who actually in real life has to get neck surgery. Hello, booking. You should have gave it to what's his face. Let him lose.
Then they also had, like, to make it more, I guess, more real or whatever, AEW put a thing like wrestling, we don't condone these actions. You should never see them again. So I guess they're not going to replay the clip of the plastic bag right into his face.
That was one thing they refused to play on their AEW channel with clips from the match. They said that's one thing. That's something they would not show for reasons.
Keep the kayfabe alive and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we're up to our...
What about the over-under and all that?
Oh, I thought I mentioned it. Oh, yeah. Everybody went for... oh, come on now. Everybody went for Danielson.
Yeah, I know. But,
Next, we have Danielson versus Jungle Bitch. And I'm not saying this because I'm hating on Perry. I mean, I do love hating on him because fuck that kid. But Danielson carried the entire match. Like, the entirety of the match was carried by Danielson. It reminded me of the Iron Man match with MJF, only worse, because at least MJF was giving something for Danielson to work off of. Perry, 90% of the match was either barely giving an offense or spent the majority of the time posing and taunting the crowd and just... I'm like, dude, this isn't a promo fight. This is supposed to be a match. This is for the title. Act like it's a main match. Act like it's a title match. Act like it fucking matters and people can get invested behind you as a potential for being the champion. And I know this is slapdash together, and I get that. But you have to convince the crowd enough to believe that you could be champion, even though everyone pretty much knows you won't. You have to convince the crowd at one point to go, oh shit, he might win. There was never a single period of time where that happened in that entire match, where anyone in the crowd, anyone watching at home went, yeah, he could do it. Not one time was that possible.
So then we had the real one, the one that really puts the blood in the blood feud, because again, we've had the MJF Daniel Garcia, we had the Willow versus Chris, we had this thing with the trying to kill Bryanson with a paper bag, you know what I mean?
This is a theory. This is a theme for this pay-per-view. Try to kill your opponent.
Yeah, so now we have Swerve going up against Hangman Adam Page, the insane Hangman Adam Page.
I'm surprised they tried to hang a brother.
Oh god. So in the last episode here of Dynamite, there was a scene where Swerve and Nana showed off, like, I guess, Swerve's childhood home. So at the end of the episode, there was supposed to be a big, contract signing between Hangman and Swerve. And they played the Hangman theme music. Oh, he's not coming out. Well, let's try it again. And he's still not coming out. He appears on the screen there, and inside Swerve's house, where he's dumping gasoline all over the place, and he lit that bitch on fire, and he burned down the house and everything.
In a very cinematic way. I was like, gee, I didn't know houses can burn like that. Hey, it looks different from the house that Swerve and Nana were in.
Yeah.
He burned the wrong house in the wrong neighborhood.
Okay, sorry. But yeah, despite that, obviously it's supposed to be the same house, out of kayfabe, in kayfabe, and that really sets up like the big feud here. So now we got this big final match in the steel cage, and a lights out match, non-sanctioned match, so whatever goes, they can't be liable. And oh god, he did a lot of shit here. So right off the bat, oh god, right as the match was starting, right as the cage was lowering, they were both trying to choke each other and pin each other so they could get decapitated as the cage goes down. So the cage didn't go down yet, and they're already literally trying to commit murder on there, Obviously they get in just fine. The cage is closed. They got boxes of things, and we'll see what they are later. They start pulling out fucking staple guns or stapling each other. Swerve does the thing from the other time he did that, where he just he just laughs, he can take it. He's getting stapled on the chest. He's I'm tanking these hits, bitch.
He stapled a picture of his family on the Adam Page.
On his page face and stuff like that. Yeah. They had more barbed wire. They kept banging and scraping each other's faces up against the steel cage. They wrapped barbed wire around the steel cage area and try to scrape their faces against that. They did a thing where they wrapped the barbed wire around the face and hit each other. I'm pretty sure there were thumbtacks too, because I'm starting to think that AEW loves their thumbtacks and stuff like that.
And they love arson.
Yeah, and then I think Hangman, makes more sense. Hangman for doing it. Hangman grabbed a wooden stake that was actually supposed to be part of the house, of the burnt house. It was kind of burnt stake, and he was trying to stab Swerve with it and everything. Hangman, you're the one who was drinking blood. You're the one that's probably being stabbed by stakes. You know what I mean? And Swerve got it and started stabbing Hangman on the forehead with it and stuff like that. And we just got more crazy shit, more violent spots and tables.
The block.
Oh god. They brought a real life cinder block, not a
See, when he brought in the cinder block, said, "Oh, here you go, you want to bust it over his head? Okay, yeah." Then he'll be able to get popped back up and fight.
They picked up Hangman and slammed his back onto the cinder block, and the cinder block did not sell.
Yeah,
and he had the big red welt in the back. And
like a
eventually,
straight, like a scrape. I said, well, maybe it's just a fluke. And then they did it. They used
no,
it
they
again.
used it on Swerve now.
And then they did
And
it, used it
Swerve-
again. I said, well, it didn't do anything for both of them. I said, oh crap, this is a real cinder. This is like a real cinder block. What's wrong with these people?
And the way he slammed Swerve, like Swerve was like, he was out of commission for a couple of minutes trying to, get back up again. Like I thought, like, dude, he paralyzed his fucking back or something, And yeah, I ran with the center block. That was pretty intense, And then the finish, which was kind of hard to see because I hate seeing that kind of stuff. Hangman pulled out a fucking like an actual syringe needle, or the hypodermic needle, whatever they call it,
needle.
and oh wait, he pulled out Swerve's drill and then stuck the needle in there to, I guess they explained it in post that it was like to numb him. So while he was numb, the Hangman just cracked the fucking steel chair over his headshot, And I noticed the camera even panned out real quick because I guess I have to get that on film too much.
Then it was like this.
Yeah, and then Swerve was just fucking dead, for lack of a better word. And Hangman won. And I do have to say that during the scene where Hangman was just staring down at him, I know he's staring down angry. I did kind of sense that part of it was probably, oh fuck, I hope I did that right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then Hangman like leaves the place. He actually gonna come back and do some more shit, but they, the security chased him away, and Hangman just acted like Kumar or something. Even though he won, and that was crazy. Now, one thing that was for the match, before I forget, and you guys are probably bringing up a detail. The referee kept trying to stop things, even though it was an unsanctioned match, and they explained several times during the thing that the only reason he was there was basically to call a winner. That's it. He couldn't stop, whatever. But there were times he was stopping stuff, and the part that was so, like, I don't know what the hell they were thinking was, okay, so when, was it Swerve or Hangman? Who was the one he was stopping?
Oh gosh, I forgot.
I think it was maybe Hangman. It's like when Hangman wants to hit him with the chair, it's like, oh shit, whoa, hey, we're going too far here. Non-sanctioned match, but we're still going too far.
No, it was Swerve. He kept stopping. He
kept stopping. Okay, so it's the other way around.
Yeah.
He kept stopping Swerve, but then when Hangman is hitting Swerve with the chair, okay, honestly, it's all good. It's all, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he just missed the memo that he was, like you said, it was an unsanctioned match and he's not supposed to, like you said, he's just supposed to call a winner.
Yeah.
Not necessarily try to keep stop them from, well, technically trying to kill each other, but
Yeah. We'll let Johnny go and we'll have William with his thoughts there.
From what I remember, this match is just like very brutal, very violent, hard to watch and certain instances, and we already seen the whole stapling thing before, but that final part where Adam Page just put a syringe in Swerve's mouth, I was thinking, oh bro, that's just too much. Like,
I was not expecting that.
it was something hard to see, and I'm like, a part of me is like, damn, I don't want to see no more of this match. Like, this is going a little too far here.
I was wondering where they were going with that. It's like, well, I mean, what that was. It was.
Yeah, honestly, I think the syringe thing was taking it too far, but yeah, those two really beat the hell out of each other. Like they're trying to decapitate each other with the freaking cage right at the beginning. They were beating each other up with barbed wire wrapped around their fists, wrapped around the cage. Probably wrapped around the referee if they could have got away with it. They're beating each other across the back with cinder blocks, but yet somebody pulls out a folding chair like they've been doing for ages. Oh shit, that's too far. Oh, dial it back there a little bit, bro.
Oh my gosh, I didn't think about it that way either. Oh, good lord.
Like all the stuff they've done, even earlier with the street fight when they had tube lights. Okay, all fine and gravy. But somebody pulls out a folding chair and they're acting like they just whipped out a loaded gun.
Whoa. Break it up.
Whoa, break it up, pal. Break it up, pal. That chair didn't do anything to anybody. There are small Ethiopian kids that have nowhere to sit because of you. Just chill. Like, what the hell? But otherwise, yeah, it was a very brutal match. Like, the part with the syringe was really cringe, but the part that still hurts me to this day is the part where, and I don't know why, but it's the part where Swerve takes a picture of his family and staples it to Hangman Page's face. I'm just like, oh God, no, no. But otherwise, it was very brutal, very violent, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. Thumbs up. Great for the kids.
Fun for all ages.
Yeah.
It's great. Everything is great.
So now for me personally, like I said, for me, I don't like really, really violent matches. It's just not for me. Like I said, that's syringe. It just really got me. It's not like the fact that he used it, it's how he used it. It's like, ugh. Yeah, we ain't going there. So anyway.
And finally, we get to the main event. Hangman versus Swerve in a lights out steel cage match, which, first of all, this isn't a lights out match because the whole point of a lights out match means there's no one there. That's literally what it means. Lights out as in no one's there. You're in an empty arena. So clearly they're not in an empty arena, so it's not a lights out match. So just call it a steel cage. Who cares? Anyway, semantics aside, this match had parts that worked. Parts. The storytelling elements, some of the moments, but the majority of it is exactly why I hate certain indie wrestling. I hate dumpster wrestling. I hate garbage style wrestling. The shit where you see and you go to an arena in a clubhouse that used to be a Costco, and then there are people bashing each other with light tubes or hey, I'm going to hit you with a lawn ornament. That's what this was giving me. This was giving me that on a higher scale, but somehow worse. It was straight out of GCW, and that's not a good thing. That is not a good thing for a company that's trying to promote itself as a second-tier option for WWE. And clearly, a lot of people got pissed off about it because it alienated a lot of fans. It alienated a lot of people and pissed off a lot of people. And there were are people going, did they go overboard? Did they go overboard? Yes. They stabbed each other. Not pretend with a fork. There's a way to do it with a fork or whatever. Full on with wood planks, a stake, trying to make it look straight up like a murder. They had weird spots with pictures of Swerve's family, and it was what the fuck? I don't know. It was just weird. They had stabbings with real wood, or the cinder block spot that caused a giant welt on Swerve's back, and everyone was like, oh God. And then the needle spot. Just, no. I can guarantee you that spot cost them a lot of future viewers. I'm saying that not to hate on AEW. I'm saying that as a person who there were spots that probably traumatized a lot of little kids. And I say that as a kid who grew up in the Attitude Era. I knew a lot of people who of my age demographic when we were kids, and we would watch wrestling, and they would do stuff that was so adult and so messed up and dark that literally my friends wouldn't be allowed to hang out with me because it was too violent. So it was kind of the same way, and I got that vibe for especially the needle spot. I mean, come on. The needle spot, come on. No one in their right mind would think this is a good idea. No one in their right mind, literally, I'm not even joking. You could do this exact same spot doing a Sami Callihan. What Callihan used to do was what he did this a couple of years back, he would take thumbtacks, or even Danhausen does it. Danhausen does it. He takes fake teeth, and then he just puts it in your mouth, and he literally hits them with a weapon, or he hits them in the head or whatever. Shit, we just saw that happen with Drew McIntyre doing that to Punk. He literally took the bracelet that he had, he broke it into pieces, shoved it in his mouth, Claymore kicked him, and it looked like it broke his jaw, or it looked like it made him cough blood. There's a way to do it where it's oh, that's bad, but it's not fatal. This looked like, oh shit, we need to take him to the hospital because he might have an infection from a fucking needle. This is not normal. And people want to just, because this is the problem I've been having with AEW from day one. And I said this to the guys, and I hope you guys are listening. There's only so many plateaus of crazy you can go before it becomes ridiculous. It's already gone past ridiculous. So where does it go from here? I mean, realistically, I'm not trying to be a dick here. They've already had a flamethrower, bottle rockets, bats, glass, now needles. Like, what's next? Like, seriously, you can only go so high as far as crazy. It's pointless. It's just shock for shock value, and that doesn't work. The reason people were hyped about the Hangman versus Swerve thing wasn't because, oh, it was look at the fire. No, it was because it was building a story. Fans want stories. Literally, the reason WWE works is because people like the stories, the characters, the build-up, not, hey, I'm going to hit you with a couple fucking needles. Any asshole can do that in the back of a 7-Eleven. But this is, it just pissed me off.
For this match, everybody went for Swerve except for Peter.
Except for the Sweet Pea.
Except for the Sweet Pea. He is the only one who did not go for Swerve. And that actually kind of determined our kind of sort of winner. So for this one, out of all the matches, our winners are it is a tie between Jack and Sweet Pea.
Oh.
They both got 10. This match determined it for Sweet Pea. Next would be with what is it? Tied for the next spot, it would be a tie between DJF and Mark with 9. Next, it is me with 8 points. Oh no, wait. Yeah, and then next it'll be Panda with 7. And unfortunately last is Johnny with 4, which means he has to become a member of the learning tree. That's your
You have to be part of the Jericho Vortex.
Oh.
Yes, you gotta be in the Jericho Vortex while also serving being a server of the Young Bucks or something.
Yeah. Be the Young Bucks cameraman during their promos.
No.
And Johnny has to run into the ring during the match and do like the pump up on the things. Shoots.
Oh,
No. Even worse. You send him to WWE and he has to take close-up butt pictures of Nia Jax.
Oh God, no.
Oh, not nice.
Oh God. So for final thoughts, what can I say? This one was a lot better than All In. From my understanding, it was way better than last year's All Out. That was more like slapdash. I know they only had like a week or so to build up the feuds, but they did a good job because within a week it was pretty cool. Like I got invested in WGF versus Daniel Garcia match and stuff like that, and the whole thing with Swerve and Hangman got more intense. I feel that compared to last time, where All In and All Out were literally like a week of each other, giving the extra week here gave more time to build up the feuds, and he did a good job considering the small him he had to work with. Match I don't really care much about the Young Bucks because you knew they were going to win. Had he surprised us and actually lost, that would have been something. But I guess it would have to been against someone else and not the Blackpool Combat Club due to what was going to happen later on that same night. You know what I mean? But had he lost the titles, that would have been kind of a shocking, whatever.
Yeah.
The 0-hour matches were forgettable, unfortunately, but the other matches were awesome. And just the fact that, like, so many days later, because, we're busy, with the podcast and everything, that we could still have so much detail on the Willow match and the Lights Out match. That just shows, like how it resonated with us and everything. With the Lights Out match, my only draw the line thing was, the syringe. I could have done without that. The cinder blocks, I mean, I think that should have been as far as it went. Because that was like, I don't even know the logic of how you would slam someone on a cinder block with enough force to leave a welt, but not too hard, where they're not fucking paralyzed or something. So I don't know how that works.
So they hit kind of the lower back, I guess. It's side, not the middle, but that's just beside the point. I mean, it's just seemed like just too much that could go wrong.
And the thing is, I don't know if it's the selling or whatever, but Hangman, took it, but Swerve looked like he was hurt. Like he took it worse. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And,
Yeah, like there was no real selling for that. Like they both had a tramp stamp of a brick on their lower back. Like, I don't know. I don't know if there was just a bet in the back, whether they were just like, all right, you want to take this or you want to take this? Let's flip a coin. I don't know. But yeah, they actually did nail each other with those bricks.
someone somewhere out there, Darby Allin is upset that he wasn't part of it.
Darby Allin and Moxley were probably upset they weren't a part of it.
No, man. But overall, it was a pretty good, intense show, and I do think it was way better than what they have for All In, which is the big irony because of course All In was supposed to be like the bigger deal, during Wembley and all that kind of stuff, but they did a better job here with All Out. And yeah, the extra week, and in our case, like the extra, like the one paycheck to the next paycheck, that helped as opposed to the last time they were spending that much money like all in one go, basically, you know?
Mhm. I have to agree. All Out. I kind of preferred all. I think I was saying that. I think I preferred All Out to All In this year. It was just everything was better set up. They had more, like I said, they had more time to set up stuff. It didn't feel like a bunch of matches just slapped together. I mean, whether you like the stories or don't like the stories or the lead into these matches, at least they actually, for the most part, had some kind of lead in. So you got to give credit for that, even if you don't consider it good. You know, the type of story that they're trying to tell, but at least they were trying to tell a story. So yeah, I kind of prefer All Out to All In. Except, I'm sorry. When did AEW turn to ECW? That's all I want to know. I mean, someone please explain that to me.
What's Boston's mind?
I mean, seriously, because I was never big on ECW for the, for me it's just too violent. But yeah, it is what it is, and you kind of want to, curious where some of these stories are going to go. Especially since you have, Bryan Danielson out and incapacitated because, he was suffocated. And even though Jack isn't here, I'm going to say it. Now, Danielson getting an oxygen mask after a match makes sense. MJF getting an oxygen mask after a match does not. So we'll see where this goes, what our world champion is doing, because he obviously can't win the title.
Daniel Bryson was really going to need that oxygen mask after this match was over. Like, yeah, you say you didn't know it turned into ECW. I was literally waiting for Tony Khan to come out with his hair slicked back in a ponytail with a trench coat and an old 90s cell phone.
Oh, yeah.
Looking like a fake Paul Heyman. Trying to start some crap and then have RVD come out and just kick everybody out of the ring. Like, honestly, this was a pretty good pay-per-view as far as the storytelling went. It seems like they're getting back on track on the storytelling. And they're actually starting decent feuds. Like you got the Takeshita and Okada, you've got Willow and Kristen, you've got Paige and Swerve. Like you've actually got some decent storytelling going on here. Now let's see if they can keep on track with that. But also one other thing that I was saying before the break, with as violent as this show was, if the AEW Blood and Guts pay-per-view has no blood in it, I'm gonna be mad. Because that's where all this shenanigans should have happened. But no, it happened in All Out. It was a violent and heavy story-driven pay-per-view. I just hope they actually work a little bit more on the story and kind of keep some of that going. Well, minus the syringes and the assassination attempts on Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, I'm not down with that one.
Attempted steel case decapitation.
Yeah, that too.
Attempted murdering wrestling. I don't know. All right, how about you, Johnny?
Personally, I enjoyed this pay-per-view way better than All In. I don't know. To me, All In felt a little rushed, but this one does feel a lot better. It feels like they planned that out better. The matches are better. The rivalries are a lot better. The storytelling, well, obviously it's not perfect, but it's still way better than, I don't know. I just felt like there's more to this pay-per-view than All Out. And it's kind of weird because you would expect All Out to be the big pay-per-view, but yet this one surpassed All In. And I felt like the crowd was more
livelier,
into it, like more happier, more cheerful.
But now that you mentioned that, it probably you remember there was a lot of production issues with All In. Remember they didn't even have all the screens.
Oh
for everybody
yeah.
to see, so that's probably a reason why maybe it came across as more livelier for All Out, because they probably have as many production issues compared to All In, where not everyone could even who was there could even see the show proper because they didn't have the money, because they're too busy paying $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 for the final countdown for Danielson, and all the money got paid for Okada, and all the money got paid for Mercedes entrance and costume.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, they finally got like a return check for Mercedes Moné's costume, so the production was a little bit bigger on this one.
Mm.
And in a weird way, I mean, of course, the syringe thing was going too far. I still felt like some of the violence, whether you like it or not, I think some of the violence in this pay-per-view actually kept the controversy going, because it keeps people talking about, oh shit, this is too violent, this is too whatever. I mean, I forgot which network it was that they're trying to
Oh yeah, they wanted to like ban or censor AEW or whatever due to this pay-per-view and whatever.
So this controversy is selling. So I think that's the direction. I'm not saying it has to go like that violent, but I think it's kind of working for them a little bit, because AEW is kind of like, well, but all this violent stuff happening, it makes people talk about it more.
Yeah, and you know what? That's a good point. Like in this one, the controversy actually went in reverse. So the controversy actually had to do with the actual matches rather than anything that happened backstage during the matches. Because if you remember, like last year, it was the whole thing with, Jack Perry and CM Punk backstage. Nobody really talked about the actual matches. Now the controversy is actually going on with the actual matches. Nothing happened backstage.
Hey, Tony didn't fear for his life, didn't have to fire anybody, and didn't tell people at the last minute that the main person you were coming to see got fired.
Exactly. Now, if only the Young Bucks would have started some trouble and gotten canceled, then yeah, I've been okay with it.
I heard the Young Bucks were saying that that the other people from other countries were eating all the cats and dogs. Get them canceled. Get them fired.
All Out was a shit show, and yeah, that's it. That's all. That's pretty much it. And those are my overall thoughts about All Out 2024. Hope you guys enjoy. Till next time.
Man. But anyways, guys, it wraps up this episode of the Diving Cutter Wrestling Podcast. So, yes, folks, it's America's #1 cure for insomnia. If you're having sleeping problems, you're having the shakes and all that stuff, as you can see with one here, it'll knock you right out. Just be sure not to be driving or operating any heavy machinery while listening to the podcast. We don't want to get sued. So anyways, guys, this is Mark Rodriguez signing off for tonight.
All right, William White, a.k.a. Ninja Panda 1980. I'm out of here.
Oh, what? Oh, it's time to wake up? Oh, yeah. This is Ninja Jupi or Jupi Chan. Call me when their turn is over to one, the only, the man is our man with the power, the man that decided to show up.
Johnny Rodriguez.
Yep, have a good night, guys.
Good night, guys.